you write the raw data, you need to count each value there. Suppose I am asking you what are the numbers which comes between 30 and 40. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Up to 39 you have to count in this one. You have to see how many values. Suppose 30 is there, then you will count for 39. Like that you have to count and write when you are considering the raw data. But when you are getting the group data by one observation only, you will come to know that. So if I am asking you how many values are there between 40 and 50. So between 40 and 50, it is obviously very clear that there are 6 values. So this is the benefit of group data, and this is the drawback of raw data. Okay, group data you can find the number so easily. Raw data you have to count it and we want to see that. Okay, this is, otherwise you can say ungrouped data also. Ungrouped. There is no grouping for this one. So this is about data. So this data can be of also firstly we will collect this data, and after collecting this data you can find so many things here. So for example we will consider the marks of 10 students. So say 10, 12, 18 or 5, okay, 10 students, 18, 22, uh, then 8, then or 28, then say 20, 30, 40, and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 50, and say 30. Like this, 10 students marks. Then once you are getting this data, you can find so many things from here, and you can say around which value is the minimum or the common marks is, which is a common mark here, or around which value all the marks are rotating and all. Okay, that kind of things we call that as mean, median, mode and all. Okay, so by after getting this value you can find the average marks of this class, means what is the status of that particular class. Okay, in that class what is average marks of students for a particular subject. So average, to get the average, what we do is you will do the sum of all this. Sum of, we say each one is an observation. 30 is an observation, 40 is an observation. So to get the average, what we do is sum of this observation divided by number of observations. This you had in your 10th or 11th. So number of observation. Sum of observation divided by number of observation. This is what you are getting the average. Means if you want to get your average marks, you have, suppose you have 5 subjects and you know how to do that. You have 5 subjects, you will add all the marks of all that 5 subjects. You will divide it by 5, then you are getting the average marks, and you can find the percentage, how much percentage you got. So you can find, you know it how to do. So that is the same thing we do here also. The average means sum of this observation divided by number of observations. So in statistics we call this as either the average, or we can call this as the mean. The mean, and we notate it with x bar. Mean x bar. So to get that one, what we do, we will find the sum of all this divided by number of observation. Number of observation means we need to count this one. So you need to count, that means we have to just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here number of observation 10 upon, then we need to add this one. So 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 4, 120, 150, 170, 180, 180 plus 30, 210, 210 and 50. That is 260. Okay, so 260 by 10, that is 26 is the average mark. So after getting this value, you can make sure that all the marks of this class is around this 26. So extremes may not be, but maximum marks of this class, maximum means maximum number of marks of this class is around this 26. Okay, so that is the mean or the average marks of that class. So if the average marks of that class is 26 out of, say, 26 out of 50, then we can say that class is around 50% students are doing good and 50% are not that good at study. So we can make out decision or conclusions like that. Okay. So that is mean. Then there is another term called as a median. Median means, to get the median, what we do is arrange this all. So see, when you were in school, you know how you were doing the PT and all. So while standing for the PT, what you do, the smallest at the front side and the um, longest, shortest at the front and the tallest at the back. Okay, so suppose 10 students were there, then you will be standing like that. The shortest student will be in front of the assembly, then slowly the height, as the height increases, the tallest will be at the last. So here also we do the same thing only. So the middle one is the median there, means it will be like that, that suppose 10 some students are standing like this students are standing. So this is the middle one, means here 1 2 3 and say here also 1 2 3. So 1 2 3 this, and here 1 2 3 this middle one. This is the median value there, median student there. So here also, when you have some data, to get the median, what we do is arrange this either in ascending order or in descending order. Ascending order means from small to big. So 10, 12, then here we have 18, then 20, then we have 22, then we have 28, then 30, write 30 again, okay, 30, 30, then 40. Don't think that it is repeating, so not to write, that is not possible here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now here what will happen is, if you look at median means the middle value you have to take, whatever comes in the middle. So exactly in the middle. So suppose you are removing this 1, 2, 3, 4 values from here. 1, 2, 3, 4 values from here. Now the middle one, if this value is not here, if that value was not there, then it is very easy to get the middle value. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left and 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. This will be the median value. Okay, but so when that is n is an odd number. Here n is 9, number of observation is 9. So in that case, exactly the middle one means n plus 1 by 2 12, n plus 1 by 2. N plus 1 by 2 means 9 plus 1. N is 9. So 9 plus 1 by 2. 9 plus 1 means 10. 10 by 2, fifth value. So fifth value will be the median. Fifth value means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth value. This will be the median when n is odd number. Okay, but when is even number, suppose here 50 is here, then here what will happen? Total 10 values are there. So when you are removing, from here you remove 4, from here you remove 4, then you are getting 2 values. In this case, median will be sum of that 2 values. Median is equal to 22 plus 28 divided by 2. So that is 50 by 2, 25 will be the median there. Okay, so this is median means what you have to do is either arrange that in ascending order or in descending order and then take the middle value. If it is odd number, it is n plus 1 by 2, the value whatever comes there, and if it is even value, what we do is n by 2 plus n plus 1 by 2 value, means middle value, 2 values whatever comes, sum of that divided by 2. Okay, so that is median. And mode is given by, mode is the maximum repeated values. Maximum repeated value, that is the mode of an observer, of a data. Maximum repeated value. So here maximum number of values, I mean a number which is repeated for the maximum times. So if you are looking at this one, you can see here 30. 30 is repeated twice. Okay, so that is the mode here. So in this one it is mode, that is the maximum repeated value. These are otherwise called as means mean, median, mode. Then again it comes standard deviation and median. These are called as measures of central tendency. That means by looking at these values, you can find how that data is behaving. The behavior of the data can be identified by seeing this median, mean, median, mode. The negative mode are there, variance and standard deviation. Okay, they are called as measures of central tendency. So that is not needed for us. So these are mean, median and mode. Formula and all is there for this to find out this one. So we need only the formula for this mean, median and mode is not necessary for us. So to get the, so this is what I told is about the raw data. Okay, so this formula and mean, median concept, median mode concept is for the raw data. Now if the data is group data, okay, so for group data, what you are going to do is, so here the formula, so here now if it is raw data, mean, this formula is given by, for raw data formula is given by, what I will write here. So mean for raw data it is mean, formula to find the mean for raw data. The formula is given by, suppose x1, x2, x3, etc., xn are some values. Okay, then mean is given by, mean x bar is given by, x bar is equal to, what we do is x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus etc. plus xn divided by number of observations. Number of observations, suppose these are n values. So number of observation means small n you will write. And this is given by, instead of writing all this together, you can put summation sign sigma xi, where I is from 1 to n. Value of I is from 1 to n. So the sigma, summation sigma means you have to put plus 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 in the middle of that variables, whatever it is. Okay. So summation I equal to 1 to n xi divided by n. This is the formula to find the mean of a raw data. Okay. X bar equal to summation xi upon n. That is the value, or that is the formula to find the mean of a raw data. Okay, so this you have to remember. Now to find the mean for a group data, mean for a group data, that is when a group data is given. So as I told earlier, when a group data means their frequency will be given. Suppose we have 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, like this. Some values are there, 30, some classes 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Suppose we have like this, and say, so this is the class. Interval we can write here, interval or class you can write. So this is the class and this is the frequency. Means frequency means how we are getting from raw data. You will put the tally marks and all, and you will get this frequency and all you will get from there. So suppose I am taking the 0 to 10, suppose 5 are there, then 10 to 20 say 7 are there, 20 to 30 say 12 are there, 30 to 40 say 30 are there, and 20 are there, and this is 6 are there. So total 50. Okay, so total 50. Now here sometimes we will use here Fi as a general case only. No problem if you are writing just F also. If you are writing no issue, then Fi means F1 frequency of first one, F2 frequency of second one, F3 frequency of third one, like that. And here this is sum of Fi, sigma Fi. And this sigma Fi, instead of this summation sigma Fi, we can even write that as capital N. N is equal to 50. So whenever you write capital N, it means that that is a group frequency data, group table. Okay, it is a group data. So in that case, we will write N equal to capital N equal to 50. If it is a raw data, we will be writing small letter n. So if you see n equal to 50 means it is a row data. So 1 to 50 row it will be given like just like separating by commas 10, 20, 30 like that. Then here capital N we use for summation fi. Now if it is a group data, to get the mean, what we do is we will find the midpoint of this one. Midpoint of this one means 0, 10. Midpoint of that class we will do 0 plus 10 divided by 2. Okay, so that will be xi, that is taken as xi. Xi means midpoint of this class. 0 to 10 midpoint is 5. Then 10 to 20. 10 to 20 midpoint means 10 plus 20 divided by 2. So that is, we will get 15. Then here 25 like that and all we will get. And so then the formula for group mean in group data is given by summation fi xi divided by summation fi, or we can write this as summation fi xi divided by capital N, because summation fi we use capital N. Do not think that you can cancel these two. This means that, so as I told, we will be finding here xi. Xi means what? Xi is the midpoint of this one. So xi means midpoint of this class. Okay, xi is, this is midpoint of each class. So midpoint, to get the midpoint, what we do is upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. So 0 plus 10, that is 5, 10. 10 by 2 is 5. Then 10 plus 20, 30. 30 by 2 is 15. Then 20 plus 30, 50. 50 by 2 is 25. So you can see 10, 10, 10 is increasing. Here also see, here 10 is a class interval. That interval will be added here. So 0 to 10, 10 to 20, if you are looking at that one, 20 to 30, just count and see, you can see 10 is the class interval there. Here also see 10, 20, 20, 30, 10 is the difference. Here also 10 is the difference. Okay. When that is an unequal class, that case is different. There we have to do something else. So here, then what we do here, this is 35 and this is 45. And then we will find fi into xi, multiplying this one. 5 5 is 25, 15 is 105, like that we will multiply it. Fi into xi you will be finding, and then putting all that values in this one, you are getting the mean there. So for mean for a group data is summation fi xi divided by, and this is for your information. In correlation we may be using this one sometimes. So this is the second thing, mean. And now median and mode formula is there, that is cumulative frequency and some other concept is there, that is not needed for us as of now. So this is there. Then the important point what you need is standard deviation and variance. Okay. That concept is very important. So this also I'll tell you. So variance for a row data. There also it is separate for this, different for this data. Variance for a row data means, now to get the variance what we do is, for a row data means, suppose we have some values like x1, x2, x3, etc. like that. Okay. And so let x1, x2, or if I write like this, suppose x1, x2, x3, etc. xn are some data. Okay. Then to get the variance what we do is find the mean. So x bar, you will get x bar is equal to summation xi upon n, the row data, so n you will have, so you will get x bar. Then here what we do is we will find x1 minus x bar. From each value you will be subtracting this mean. So x1 minus x bar, then you will do x2 minus x bar, then you will do x3 minus x bar, then etc like that, xn minus x bar. Okay. Then we'll find the square of this one. We'll find x1 minus x bar the whole square, then here x2 minus x bar the whole square, x3 minus x bar the whole square, like that, xn minus x bar the whole square. Then you will find the sum of this one. Whatever you are getting here, we'll find the sum of that one. Sum of that one means summation of. So in general, you will write I minus x bar whole square, where I equal to 1 to n. I equal to 1 to n means x1, I is 1, so x1 minus x bar, this you are getting. Then if I is 2, then x2 minus x bar the whole square you are getting. So you will be getting xi minus x bar the whole square. Then, so after getting this one, what we do here, therefore variance is given by, now what is the word meaning of variance means how much a value is deviating from its mean. Each value, how much each value is deviating or differing from its mean. Okay, so that is variance. Variance is given by summation of xi minus x bar the whole square divided by n. Okay, this is the formula for variance of a raw data. Then standard deviation, these are very two important concepts of statistics which we use in almost all fields of life, especially in business and all. This is used very much, standard deviation. And even in cricket or in any, means if you want to predict or something, or if you want to say the consistency of something. Consistency means whether you can, or whether a person or whether a value is consistent, kind of constant all the time, or does it change as the situation changes or not. Okay, so to identify all that, we find out the standard deviation or variance and all. So standard deviation is given by square root of this variance. Square root of variance is standard deviation. And here one important thing is that usually comes for entrance exams and all, variance can never be negative. Okay, variance will always be positive value only, because we are finding the square here. So even though suppose you are getting a value here, say for example, suppose you are getting this is minus 5, this is minus 3, like that. So when you find out this one, when you take the square of this one, minus 5 square is going to be plus 25. Minus 3 square is going to be plus 9. Okay. So this variance is always positive. Standard deviation can be negative or positive depending on, because here square root you are taking. So it can be positive or negative. Obviously it will be negative or positive. And then there are some more factors to make sure whether it is positive or negative. So that is standard deviation and variance for raw data. Now for group data, you have to byheart these two formula very much. For group data, because we are going to use it everywhere, not only now, in next semester also. For group data, what the specialty is there, if xi like these values are there, you have some fi also, frequency will be there. Then all this formula will change. Okay, so for group data, similarly, variance is given by, so there extra what you are doing here is, you will have one fi here. Fi here means f1, f2, f3, f1, f2, f3, like that it will be there. Then what we do is, firstly we will find all these square terms and all you will find. Next step you will have f1 into x1 minus x bar the whole square, like this. f2 into this, f3 into this. Then only you will find the sum. You will not do it here. Here you will not do it like f1 into this, like that you will not do. You will find the square, and at the end only you will be multiplying with f. So for group data, variance is given by the formula, variance is equal to summation fi xi minus x bar the whole square, means we will find the square first, then multiply each value with a corresponding frequency, and then finding the sum, divided by summation of fi, or we can rewrite it as, it is summation of fi into xi minus x bar the whole square divided by capital N. Okay, there is a shortcut formula for this one, but that I am not telling you, because anyway you are using calculator, so I am not telling. That is, there is some other formula, that is, but just by expanding this using a minus b the whole square and applying some other properties, you will get this is summation xi square upon n minus x bar square and all. So that is a shortcut formula for this one.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
मैम अंडर रूट स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन के लिए आता है ना,
Yes, yes, yes.
कि वेरिएंस के
Yes,
लिए
yes.
आता है?
No, 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 no. Sorry, sorry, sorry. That is for standard deviation. So variance is this one, and standard deviation is given by under root of this one, square root of this one, square root of variance. So that is summation of fi into xi minus x bar the whole square divided by, and this is standard deviation. Now the letter what we use for variance we symbolize by sigma square. Okay, sigma, this sigma square. So variance is always sigma square only, you will use sigma square x, you will, because if the variable here is x, then sigma square x we use, otherwise any other variable, suppose y is there, then sigma square y and all you will use. So variance symbol is sigma square, and standard deviation is obviously square root of variance. Square root of sigma square is sigma means. Then don't think that here plus or minus will come, it is just a symbol only. So sigma is the symbol for standard deviation, and this one, and this is same for both row and group data. If it is row data, then also you will use sigma square, and if it is group data, then also you will use sigma square only. And here only difference between these two is here f is not there, here f is there. Okay, so these concepts you have to make sure that you know it. Then after this, so we have mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and variance. Okay, these are the five. So these five values are called as measures of central tendency. Central tendency. Now here, your first chapter, first topic is correlation and regression. Okay, correlation and regression. There, what we are going to do is that in correlation, some values will be given. Say x and y will be given. You have to verify whether there is any relation between them. Like for example, practical case, if you say, suppose the color or the marks. Suppose if you have good marks in one subject, say if you have good marks in maths, does it mean that you will have good marks in all other subjects? So, at a first sight, we may say there is no relation or there is relation. But now you can calculate it whether there is any relation or not, or you can prove it. With confidence, you can say there is some relation between maths or the marks of maths and say marks of science. Like that, you can say it. Or any quality also. Suppose if the demand increases, the price increases. Is there any relation between that? So you can find it mathematically whether there is any relation or not. Okay, so that is what you are going to study here. Correlation and regression also, it is like that. That is knowing the value of 1. Suppose you have an equation y equal to 2x plus 3. Now if you know the value of 1, suppose this is the price of something and this is the demand of that. Okay, so or the population, suppose the population, India's population in certain, say in the year 50 9 to 2050, how much it will be. Currently the population is this much, so in the year 2050 how much it will be. All that you can find out using this method. Okay, so if y equal to 2x plus 3, suppose x equal to 4, then what could be the value of y? Then using that method, using this method of regression and all, you can find out. So this is what we are going to do in the next chapter, and after that you have probability chapter, and probability means how to find out that, all that we have to study there. Okay, so you need to